In praise of African gods, in vision of our ancestors, and in celebration of our history, the First World Alliance invites you to share in our opening ritual. To honor our elders, with Africans over 60 years of age, please stand. To honor children, and we have quite a few today, those among us and those with us. With the youngest African child in the house, please stand or be held up. To honor African life, the sisters who are carrying a child in that room, please stand. Brothers and sisters in First World Family, we thank you. And now, our brother, Alexander.
We've come quite a distance in our thinking, exposure to history about ourselves as the African race in the series. This is the beginning of the second series, and our concentration will be best as much on a hike on that theme as what it was in the previous series, and get ourselves as the African race from various points of view, various experiences, and various experiences of persons who have set themselves to study and exposure and intimacy with our history. The brother who is going to present us today is no stranger to us. It's one of our brothers. You have him and heard him, particularly you've seen him in several of the rituals and naming ceremonies and other celebrations that we hear at First World Fall. I think his contribution, our thinking and our growth and our development will be well spelled out and demonstrated in what he has to say and do. Our brother, Ishangi.
I greet everyone. We give thanks to Almighty God, the divine supreme of the universe, Anyame. We give praises and thanks to our ancestors, all of our ancestors. We give praises and thanks to the elders, the First World Alliance, and the elders here. We give praises and thanks to our various families and houses, organizations. We give thanks to the children who has been held up. We are able to see them that has been recently born. We give thanks for the spirits, the children who are resting in the bellies of earth, and we give thanks for the spirits of the young, and we give thanks to the earth itself. I greet you, and I greet you in the name of our ancestors. I come not to speak to you this evening as a man. I come to speak to you as a representative of a culture. So before I begin, I would like to say, please listen to what is being said. Don't listen with the idea, well, I like this, oh, I don't like that, and oh, I don't think I can deal with that, and no, I did. Well, why do you do this? Don't do that. You don't do it in science class. You don't do it in math class. You listen, do your math, and try to pass, and that's it, whether you like it or not. Why? Because there's certain information in the world is not to be liked or disliked. It just has to be understood. I am not a head of an organization, and I only have a few more days here in New York before I'm going. I will not be here any longer. So I'm not heading up an organization with certain extent, we will not hear the message, but will not examine what's coming over the radio or the TV or in the schools or in the hospitals. Will not ask a question, go under the knife and think nothing of it. Go in for a headache and they'll cut our stomach and we won't even ask the question. So I am saying this so that perhaps you will stand a chance to understand certain things. Because all too often, they say, oh, he's coming to give this to us and he wants us to take it. No. My job this evening, which is a terrible job, is to try to expose some of the things that are hidden from you by people that look just like me, wearing the same kind of clothing that I'm wearing, that call themselves culturalists, and they fight hard day and night, so you will not get an understanding of what is culture as opposed to occultism. We have all kinds of priests and priestesses in New York, so-called Yoruba and so-called Akans, and so-called Haitians and a little bit of everything else. But it's awfully sick for you to go to someone, pay almost $10,000 to get initiated into that particular order, run around and wipe for a whole year. Then when you have a baby, it has no naming ceremony. You have no chance for a naming ceremony. You have no chance for puberty rights for your children. You have no way of settling this. Your household culture does not change, but you have paid out $10,000, almost 10 times the ticket to go to Africa. And you pay it out here, but the people who are teaching you are Catholics, who have a little bit of occultism from Cuba, Puerto Rico, or Haiti, or whatever. And what I'm saying to you can get me killed. Because it's big bucks in taking black people's heads. Big bucks. So I'm not here to introduce you to something, to get you to wear these clothing or anything. But it is definitely time for you to get an understanding of certain things, so that you will not step into the fire, out of the frying pan into the fire, as so many of our people are doing. Because our children need what they need, our wives need what they need, and the husbands need what they need. And it's only through the culture, not occultism. And what is occultism? That I am a Catholic, mind you. Put a Christmas tree up in my house. I believe in Easter. I even believe in Halloween. But I bring you in front of me and I start speaking in another language and I say that this is Shango or Oshun or this and that and so forth. And then I tell you, go and do this with your life. But I go and pay homage to Santa Claus. So what I have is occultism, not culture. I have Catholic culture, but I do not have African culture. Because African culture is tied to the whole lifestyle. And it deals with every aspect of our human endeavor. Every aspect of our human endeavor. Is that understood? And those of you who are wearing beads and somebody initiated you, don't get angry with me because of what I'm going to say today. It's your problem. You don't go to the carpenter to ask about how you get a prime cut of beef. If you do, you're a fool. Carpenter cut wood and not beef. You go to the butcher to find out about that. And if you're in search of Africa, then you go to Africa and search for Africa. Not in Puerto Rico, not in Cuba. Is that understood? And that's what I'm talking about today. African culture, not warmed over occultism, claiming to be African culture in the wilderness of North America. And that includes Rastafari and all the rest of this hodgepodge that is being called African. Africa has not disappeared. Approximately 12 million miles is still in existence. But there are people walking around talking about it as if it does not exist. It exists. It has always been, is now, and shall always be. should be as wise as the world. If I make it like an egg, and excuse me for doing it, I will go have to wait. If I make it like an egg shape, it means I'm cursing you. If I make it like a circle, man should be as wise as the world. All the food we eat, we take from the earth. When you come to us, we prepare for you to eat. Why? Because food has a spiritual connotation on it in African life that is very, very important. Not just to feed you, but we are sharing the essence of the earth. Since most of us are farmers, and we get our food from a sacred farm. A sacred farm because we only go to that farm 3 days a week. 3 days. The other days we are forbidden to go to that farm. Even farming is spiritual. You understand me? Even farming is spiritual. You do not go on the days that is not prescribed for you to go. So when we share food with you, it is a spiritual act. And our chiefs are mighty. They sit on thrones of power. They too, they welcome you. The Almighty God give us the secrets of the universe. And we take it to our bosom, and then we give it to you, always with our right hand first. Because our left hand is associated with many, many terrible things, which I will not go into, but most of all, the fact that we use it to go to the toilet with, and never the right hand. Shall I say it again? Shall I say it again? There's some people sit there looking at me like this. We use this hand to go to the toilet with, and not the right hand. So we're always constantly putting this hand over. And if this hand is occupied, we'll put this hand close to it and say, excuse the left hand that I'm using it. So we welcome you to the dance, and we greet you to the ancient language of our ancestors. Aiko, Aiko, Mayata, Aiko. subject for today is customs, traditions, rituals, etc. It is customary that when you come to someone's house, you must be welcomed properly. Someone was saying something about the illiteracy in Africa, and how you're going to maintain information if you do not write it down. And how does one group of people know from one family, since the families are so large, have information? How you keep this information if you don't write it down, put it on a tape recorder or something? It begins in the simplest form of transmitting information. Someone comes to your house. You welcome this person. And when you welcome the person, not just with, I welcome you or we welcome you, you offer the person a seat, and then you give them a glass of water to refresh themselves. After that, you ask the person's mission. And the person then will inform you why they have come. And they will tell you all of this information. They have come for this reason or that reason and so forth and so on. Then, fine, you will take this information and you will then welcome the person again. You tell the person they are welcome. Then you tell them things that's going on inside the house. This is that. This one is going away. This one is at school. This one is at the farm. This and that and so forth. So they will know where everyone is inside of the house. That is the simplest form of transmission of information. However, there is another thing that happens on a day-by-day basis when you have gone away for the day, the whole of the day in your own house, and you come back. Let's give an example. We're all here together. We're one family. So you send me to Staten Island to do something for the whole day. I've just come in. So you come in, I come in, you say, okay, I welcome you. And everything is soft in this house. It's easy. Everything is okay here at the house. How is Staten Island? You say, how is everyone in Staten Island? Say, everyone is fine in Staten Island. And what have you come? What plus? I tell you every detail from the time I left the house in the morning, how I traveled, who I traveled with, what I saw along the road, what happened in Staten Island, from name to name, person to person, house to house, incident and everything until I arrived back. Even recount the situation of coming back into the house and say, and I come to the door, I knock, and my junior brother opened the door for me, and now I'm talking to you. Transmission of information. And it is not to say, how is everyone in Staten Island? And we say, fine. No. We have to talk about who you saw, what happened when you saw them, whose house you went to, this and that, and all of this. And this is then told to other people. You understand? This information is told to other people. African culture is a personal culture. A culture based on people and not things. We are living in America where the culture is based on items, things, objects, technology, and not people. The only thing that's based on people is to get people motivated to buy the items, the things, and the technology. Is that understood? So mothers here, a child could go out and be 3 or 4 hours in the street, and because of this particular system of not giving information, the mother may not ever know what the child is doing in the street. And in many cases do not know the child's friends. But in Africa, because of this recording of information, the parents know exactly who the children is with, why they're there, whose houses, and things like that. You understand? Let us go to the situation of Mr. Alex Haley. The word griot is a French term, a bastardized term, for really a great historian. So we shouldn't use the term because they're really bringing it down in the same situation when we're talking about chief, as opposed to king. So we must call the people who have the choral play for them in the Gambia walking librarians or walking archives of history, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. This man sat down for hours on end and recounted the history and the family structure of every lineage and clan for almost 5 hours continuously. Now what happens? There are 3 other people, his junior, that sit while he's recounting history and memorize this history. This history is memorized in detail by events, not so very much date. A date is recorded by the event, a flood, famine, or a time when a village had so many babies at one time. This is an event, and it is recorded in that particular manner, and that becomes the date. The date becomes the event, more so a time, like 1964 or something like that. And it is also recorded on the drum, and it is also recorded into dance. So is there written language in Africa? Yes. So highly sophisticated that the outsider cannot detect it. And thank God, because after the burning of Senghor, our last university, and all the books were sacked and everything and things were burned and the rest was taken back to Europe, just think if we had depended on the books alone. Just think if the books were the only ways and means of us recording information. You understand that? So it is gone into the dance, the drums, and a little later on, I will show you in the carvings and so forth, the actual written language of our ancestors, of our mothers and fathers today, and the language of the unborn children yet to be. Do you understand me? All right. I hope I'm making myself clear. I'm trying to make it as easy as I can because it's difficult. It's difficult. We're talking about human technology. We're talking about a person being a living book. A living book. Person say, oh, he finished dancing like that and came over and talked. Because the dancing is talking and I am talking now. So it's nothing for me to stop dancing and come over and talk. I'm talking dancing, I come and I finish talking here. No big thing. You understand? And the language in the dance is not, well, I do this when I want to, I'll change this. That's what is bad about the African dance classes here. People may learn to dance correctly, and because of the American mentality of variety, they don't like to see the same thing over and over. So what happens, if you're supposed to do this, and you do that, someone says, well, I like it down here, Charles. And put it down here. Not realizing that this is one hierarchy here. Into the African order, when you put your arm down here, this is another level. God forbid if you drop it towards the ground. And if you make the mistake that you're using the left hand. But it happens here. I watch dancers, they come, they look beautiful. In 6 months, they're gone. You can't recognize them. A week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, a dance was presented. I couldn't recognize the dance at all. They had put the dance in a form in which they wanted, the American form. The American form, which is the lowest form of dancing there is. I don't dance for you to like it. Then I'm just an African Sammy Davis Jr. You understand? Do you know what people say when they come to Africa? Look at the picture, soul to soul. Pop Staples said, you Africans don't have any soul. Remember the picture, soul to soul? He looked down, all these stately elders are sitting there in Ghana. Sitting there looking. Pop Staples couldn't take it. Everybody's sitting there looking, staring at everything. Somebody should have told Pop Staples, you're at headquarters, turkey. You're at headquarters. We realize that every other place you go to Europe and everybody fall out. You go to Asia and everybody fall out. But you're in headquarters. This is where you came from. And there's so much sophistication in the arts here that you can be doing anything you want to. And people sit there all night long and look at you. Doesn't mean they don't like it. It's just that they're observing you. And it's not that easy to reach inside Because the daily food is deep. The daily food is deep. A small African child, raggedy and no shoes on his feet, get up in the morning and his mother standing in the front yard paying libation to his ancestors. Right. In the front yard. Calling on lineage after lineage after lineage after lineage, and then stand back and start clapping our hands and singing a song to the spirit of the earth and the ancestors which they are in. And this child grows up in that, and then you come to play a little guitar and you're upset because everybody's not falling out. We have the wrong perspective on things. Nothing burned me so bad. I was screaming and hollering in the 60s when this thing came out about soul. You got so much soul. Oh man, she's so soulful. So this, and she got so much soul when she's singing. And the louder you scream, the more you twist, the more you fell on your knees and, oh baby, I love you. The more you can do that, the more soul you got. And we became so confused that Jocelyn, a blue-eyed soul sister. Some little broken down. Some little half-baked hillbilly gonna come up and talking about she is Billie Holiday. Talking about she is Billie Holiday. And some of us fools went along with it. Just like we were digging on the Bee Gees. Some of, yeah, man, they sound good. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves. Talking about soul, you understand? And it has went all over the world. And now we don't know what soul is. We don't know what soul is because of that foolishness. And I always said it was a plot. That's right. Because the soul of all these people was the very thing that we fought and died for. It was this soul that kept our unity, kept our family, and gave us our sense of religion and spirituality. That's right. That's right. Any African can tell you, I am not a man, I am a spirit. And in the sick places around the world, or I say in Africa in particular, when a man or woman is very ill, and when everyone looks at that person good, and they have given medicines to that person, and that person is going on to continue to move away from this particular world, they will say the Clarke is leaving the person. The soul is leaving the person. So there's nothing we can do. You understand me? That the old people will look and say the Clarke is leaving the person. So we are not just this. And we confuse that being soulful with a being or movements and attitudes and good dance and twisting the hips and being soulful. So we now do not know what soul is, and that's what Pop Staples, who was singing gospel. Isn't that something? That the church was so bad off that they couldn't recognize the sophistication that was sitting before them. All Africans were doing in that stadium was saying, my God, prophecy has been fulfilled. And they're sitting there trying to get over, looking at Ghanaians that came from America, playing music, looking at Nigerians, looking at Togolese, looking at Dahomians. They weren't interested in no jive guitar. Right. For 100 years, then all of a sudden 16 hours of music, every kind of black person you can look at, and some Latinos have been brought to West Africa and put up on the stage to play. People are looking at you because you're a ghost. You are a ghost. Don't have time to shake hips and get so upset. Pop Staples, and I haven't seen him and I want to tell him. I haven't seen him in all these years. When I see him, I tell him, don't you ever make that mistake again. Respectfully, I say this to you, sir. But don't ever make that mistake again. Because Africa is the custodian of the soul. So please, let us view these things from that perspective so that we will be able to understand. One thing that's very important in African society is images. Images are very, very important. And these images help to shape and mold us as a people. People say Africans are too spooky and superstitious and this and that and so forth and so on. You know, you can't, they're so superstitious. You know one thing, you can't eat and sing a song. Something will happen to you. They're so superstitious. I mean, this is the 20th century and so forth and so on. We're not superstitious. You know why we're not allowed to eat and sing? You can choke yourself to death. You can choke yourself to death. And then on top of it, how does that look? A so-called civilized person. It's not superstition. It's not superstition at all. So we must understand, images are very, very important. We have Pac-Man. We have Pac-Man. We have the Muppets. We have Wonder, a woman. We have the Bionic Man. And now we have the other odd couple. We have all of these things to help to shape our image. Am I right or wrong? And these things are shaping our image. You understand? And this whole thing of the Incredible Hulk, turning green and all this, and busting out of his clothes, going on to do fantastic feats. All these things are images that help to shape our children. And then the poor little misguided black boy, who after seeing the first version of Superman, went to his window and jumped out and tried to fly, and of course died. These are images that if you don't think they work, then you look at the control they have over us in this society. We're going to present something now which is called Igunuka. Igunuka is an African image. It represents medicine, but it also represents a snake. It comes from a secret society called Igunuka, and it is a closely guarded secret how this is done. And it means the medicine that these people have to cure. Because it's not only a spiritual society, it's a medicinal society. And it's also used for psychological healing, psychosomatic diseases such as just being depressed. And when someone is depressed inside of their house, this masquerade is brought out and displayed. The person hears the music. Because of the movement of the masquerade, it's hypnotic. It's a hypnotic, mysterious kind of thing. And when it comes out no less than 20 at a time. Different sizes and everything. Fantastic thing. And it is blind. It cannot see. It must be guided by the music and the talking drums. This helps to shape and mold our people's feelings. And it also gives our people a feeling of the divine. And since the Incredible Hulk can do something, then we can do something too. We call this Igunuka. We must have this back room on this side clear of people for the moment to be able to call this masquerade. The shade must be down and the back room must be clear to the left side for the moment. can fly. I mean that. I cannot do it. But I know of people that can fly. It's a simple thing in Africa. And they don't have to go to a phone booth to do it. Let me get comfortable. Writing. What you have just seen in Uruguay is a form of the writing also. These are impressions that is left on the minds and the hearts and the spirits of all of our people. Can you imagine 20 of them at one time? 20 of them running loose? Running loose? And do you know, in Abeokuta, in Nigeria, some people come to challenge that thing. And when the missionaries, they're famous for that. Ooh, Satan, this and that. Satan, this and that. And they run, and they pick up the cloth when they go down, and there's a snake there. There's a snake there. Yes, a snake. Because the missionaries are famous. Christian people talk about masquerades and this and that and so forth and so on. The biggest pagans on the face of the earth. First, I'll begin by crawling. Okay. Because, you see, this is our culture. It isn't something. African culture isn't something you can talk about. The history is one thing, but when we get into culture, you have to be able to show something. This is the ancient writing, which we're very thankful to Dr. Ben and Dr. Clarke and all the other great historians who made it possible to understand, for us to understand that this is our earliest form of writing. Our earliest form. And this is what I have in the front of my shrine in my house. It is a story that everyone in my house knows, even down to my children. However, and of course, we read from, yes, if you hold that for me, we read from this side over. And I'm not talking about down here because this is a story here. This is something else. And this is not related to here. This is my own writing. This is my own writing. And this has nothing, these lights, these three lights have nothing to do with this here. This, and this symbol I put here, so broken up the sentence that is here. Thou hast fallen into the tree. Thou hast fallen into the tree. O great one. Those who worship me, I will establish them. Those who worship me, I will establish them. This is our ancient writing. What happened to it? What happened to it? The invaders are in Egypt today, Morocco and all those other places. The invaders. And quite a few of the invaders are in Ethiopia. And the invaders are Arabs. Oh, I'm sorry if I hurt some of your Muslim feelings. But I personally have no use for Arabs. Because that Arab came into Africa with jihad, holy war, with the sword in the hand. And when slavery was over, it was the Arab, the giant Englishman, that king-drinking Englishman, had to fight the Arabs to stop slavery. And slavery did not stop until 1948. That same Arab that you go to Mecca and kneel down with, because slave master. I repeat, this is history, not my personal opinion. And if that Arab happens to be your brother through religion, then I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, but it will never change my spirit on that case. bush cow. This water buffalo is so powerful that the lion, even if he is very hungry, will bypass this meal. No. He might even attack a sparrow. You will see pictures of lions on top of an elephant. 4 or 5 lions on top of an elephant. The water buffalo? No. The water buffalo would have to be dead, having funeral services and everything else, and guaranteed not to kick his left foot, even in a spasm, before the lion will even think about dealing with this animal. However, as powerful as it is, in this particular piece of writing, in this proverb, in this concept, there are 3 little birds, 2 riding in front and 1 riding in the back. And what is their job? Their job is to pick ticks off of this particular bush cow. To pick the ticks off of this bush cow. The tail is too short to go all the way around to both sides, too short to get completely up here. And these are very powerful, but they can only go down to here. So they can't get all up in here. So that these 3 birds just pick the ticks off of this bush cow. If the birds do not do this, this cow would go crazy. Would just start running wild, because ticks will be in the ears, in the eyes, and he can't do anything about it. You understand? Can't do anything about it. So you know what this means? No matter how big and powerful you may be, always take care of your small good friends. See, brothers and sisters, I get around quite a bit. And one of the places I perform in every year for the last 14 years when we tour around the country is the Detroit Institute of Art. When the so-called King Tut piece came here, everybody thinks New York is everything, but there are places in these United States, and Dr. Ben will tell you because he comes to Detroit. They got some museums and institutions that these places here in New York can't touch. Just like it's New York, you know. And everything is supposed to come through here. But I will tell you some information about these pieces of wood. Why is it that we can decide, not tomorrow because the banks are closed, but we can decide Monday we're going to go and offer a bank and do it. Go right in, put on some stupid masquerade, do a little bit of problems over in the corner, and rob the bank and get away. Get on the 10 speed and get down the street. And get away with that money. But let us try to go down to the Metropolitan and decide we're going to steal one of those sculptures. Let us go down there and decide we're going to steal one of those pieces of wood. And I'm saying this so you begin to understand what's so important about a piece of wood. Well, imagine that. Christmas time is coming. A Barbie doll can say, Mommy, drink water, go to the toilet, wind it up in a drop, lay it down, the eyes closed. All of this got 3 pieces of clothing you can put on it, and all of us will have a baby carriage for it. A Barbie doll. Sophisticated doll, is it not so? This doesn't do anything. You lay it down, the eyes don't close. You see the book, nothing comes out of the book. You see it, but it won't say anything. You get your hands broke. Nothing, it won't do anything. You can't put any water in it, or you put water, it just runs off of it. But yet still, take a Barbie doll down to the Metropolitan, they walk in and say, this is beautiful, this is historical, this is this. They watch them snobby nose like, and they say a maniac is in the room. You must be removed to know this. But walking in with this useless piece of wood, and walking in and say, well, I got this piece of wood, and watch them come over. Well, who are you? What's your name? Where are you from? So-and-so. What date is this piece of wood? Oh, let me, the carbon date is so-and-so. Circa so-and-so. What tribe is it? Interesting, I would say. And it's all about you. And get some of the most. Have you noticed you can go into the bank? Have you ever noticed the bank guard? That's a shame. They don't stand a chance. Go to the Metropolitan. They don't have no retired old men walking around the Metropolitan. They got healthy 30-year-old big green berets. You go in there thinking you're going to shoot somebody. You better catch them with their back turned. This is a total from East Africa. Everybody holding everybody up. One person, it's these small children, person holding that one up, this one holding this one up, all the way. And then people at the bottom really holding up. Everything right on up to the top. This is a total. If a person in this particular lineage in East Africa goes wrong, in the children of the house, that person will be carved upside down. So this is a report card for the members of the family. And everybody knows the various individuals on here, the various marks that is met within the tribal writing of that particular area. So this is a total. This is a family identification card as well as a report card. Is that understood? All right. This one is so beautiful. From Ghana. It is so beautiful. And you see, this is what they tell you when they take your child and say, come and let your child learn culture. And what do? They take it into a room at the age of 6 and start taking a black child and telling it to stretch its behind completely out of shape for the rest of its life. And they start teaching it, that. Hold your hand this way and do that, and hold your head up, push it behind it, push your breast up, and then duck, try. What school have you gone to in the United States to tell you that this is a work of absolute beauty and magnitude? But recognize the work of absolute beauty and magnitude. Sometimes the dancer is very important. How you finish off your hand. Look at it. Look at it. Isn't it beautiful? And it's holding what? It's holding an egg. This is usually on the top of a little stick. Or staff. But the person that is walking with this is a very careful person. A person that can hold power. Power is a fragile thing. Power is a fragile thing. And that's why in America they have a good term for it. They say power corrupts. Because usually people cannot handle it. They usually cannot handle it. So this is a symbol of handling power. An egg doesn't have any bone. Doesn't have any real hard structures to be able to hold it together. So you walk around with an egg, you're in serious trouble. Because someone says, hey, Baba, how you got there? How you doing? There's the door. Egg is finished. So the person that carries this, I'm a very careful person, a very deliberate person, a very peaceful person, and very, very much in control of myself. Because to hold an egg without cracking it is to hold tremendous power and to use it properly. This is one of the proverbs from home. Teaching. One of the problems we're having in the United States today is teaching our children. The only thing we really can teach our children is a slap across the face, and that's just about it. Don't do this and don't do that. Because all the images belong to someone else. And I don't know. So if you're telling your child this is not right, and this and that, and so forth and so on. Many children come to my house and stay. And one thing I noticed about the young boys, they are extremely destructive. They go out in their backyard of mine, and they get stiff. And they start banging up against things and so forth. They won't play. No. They start banging and breaking up things and so forth. It's the images that they see. You don't look at the Dukes and Hazards. And give them more chucks and see what happens. it's better that you see them. These all come from my family shrine. I have brought things from my personal family shrine that has never been out before like this. The only time I bring this out is when I'm doing a wedding. And I use this to speak to the man about having children and his responsibilities. That's what I use it for. Then it goes back and stands on my shrine to remind me of my responsibility. The young man is sitting on his head. Alright? Hand in his mouth and hand over ear. There, on his father's head, his father is walking, but not walking straight. And not walking straight. And if you know anything about our culture, you do not see people walking down the road with a load like this. We can carry 150 to 200 pounds on our head, but you can't go far walking like this. We walk extremely straight. And the balance, the power or the weight of the load goes in the hips. Goes in the hips. That's why people come to Africa and say African men are feminine. African men are not feminine. It's just that we don't believe in Africa that we have to be chocolate John Doe. Or either chocolate Bruce Lee. And when you carry 150 pounds on your head, be you woman or man, you better put it in your hip or your spine is going to crack. But he is bent in his knees. The bend in his knees means the range of the responsibility. And he cannot straighten it up until this son is off of his head, means out of his jurisdiction, and is holding his own home and house and wife and children. Because once you get married, you go in to get married, and you are then becoming an adult. But the marriage is not consummated until you have children. So the carver must carve it with his knees bent. The son keeps his mouth closed, his ear, one ear closed, one ear open, so he can listen. Now shut. His father will speak for him. His father will speak for him and will teach him. Why is he on his head and not his back? Why is he not piggyback? Because what he has to teach him has to come from his head. He must carry him from his head. We have a proverb, nothing proceeded past the head. So the son must learn from the well of the father. The well of the father is in the head of the father. This is what this one means, responsibility. Okay, we'll put the chair here. 6 years ago, it weighed 85 pounds. I carved it 6 years ago. It's a joke. It's not a piece of furniture. The meaning of this drum is all writing. All writing. First, you will find that at the bottom are women. Women pounding with the mortar, pounding here, making clothes. Another woman is down on her knees, carrying a huge load, down on her knees, submitting with her right hand down to the ground. There is another woman here, sitting on a stool, holding a thread in this hand, and holding the figure of a masquerade in her other hand. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me cover the picture first. Good. Now, I just want to show it over here, because we have our back to this. And turn it around. Can you see it well? All right. We'll put it in the chair again. On top, or in the center, we're going from the bottom to the top, so we can understand it better. There's a man riding on a donkey. He's riding on a donkey. This here represents his ancestral soul, which is here, to his left side. His ancestral soul. It is part body and part the doctor symbol that you've seen all your life. see it at the bottom here? The doctor's symbol being the medicine of the ancestor. When I go to the earth itself. That here is a woman at her back, sitting, nursing a child, having a water over here, and another one over here. The calabash on this side for water, and for pounding rain on this side. Over here stands representative of his family. This is his family. The women are holding up the roof of the house. They're holding up the roof of the house. Along here are plates. Plates along the bottom here. The top will explain it all. Here is one of our most important symbols. It is two crocodiles. Excuse me, I'll show it this way. Everyone can see it. It's two crocodiles. Like this. Like this. 2 feet here, 1 head here. 2 feet there, 1 head there. Cross over like that. That's what this symbol is here. That's what this symbol is here. And it simply means we should never fight each other. We should always work for a common goal. Because we have the same goal. We have one stomach. We may have 2 heads, 4 feet, and all of this. 2 arms and 2 tails, but we only have one stomach. We have the same need. And that's what this particular symbol means here, this writing. This is the way the masquerade began, the serpent armed with a snake. And it is a drum, symbolizing both man and women. And the power that is contained within one family. And we play it. It's not sitting around as a symbol. We play it and we use it. For the women in my household. The long head means long and wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. A woman. Her eyes are open on that side of the carving. The eye is closed on this side. It's closed on this side. The snake is there. The belly of the woman, the womb of the woman, is the actual warehouse or the department of eternal life. That's why this snake is here. And here again, we see the coral snake with the stabilizing bar up the middle. I ask, where did the writing go? Can you see where the writing went? Can you understand? Can you see where the hieroglyphics went? I made this so that once a year, because I have girl children, I only have one son, all the other children are female. Once a year, the elder women bring this out and talk to the young girls in the household about who they are and how they should not sleep so much. They should always have their eyes open. This side shines very well, this side is dull. So if you sleep too much, it will be one and the same. When it turns to the side, you got one form. And it's carried out as songs of thanks to represent it. You understand? Does it have a spirit? The spirit of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's all. And all the carvings have. Do we worship it? No. When it gets to old and fall apart, we will throw it away and make another one. I have a daughter that's 13 now. This is the book that she is learning piece by piece before we will give her her puberty rights. Because old women will come and sit with her and ask her different questions. This series is about sex education in the schools. We have to be sick to sit up and let some people turn around and say, well, we think we should teach it this way. No, we don't think we should teach it that way. No, that was about homosexuality. Oh, no, let's not use the word homosexual. Let's use gay. No, don't use gay. Use sexual practice. No. In the closet, out of the closet, under the closet. fundamental sex education. In America, you have to be kidding. Earlier, I wanted to explain this because this is what we call oriki. This is family secret knowledge. If you don't belong to the family, that is that. I'm sorry. And we have tribal knowledge, you see, and most of you are not using, you don't know who you belong to just now, so we won't say too much about this. But one thing we will show to you is the carving. When I carved this after the oldest woman in my house. So this is her actual body. I memorized her body from various experiences. And I carved it here. Or in the body, coming from the body, you will see branches. From her brain, there's a child extending here. There's a child here. Over here is the sun. One arm has a cup, getting the light from the sun, looking from the sun. Over here, on the other side of the sun, is the moon. And down here is the house, extending over here underneath the child. Underneath the house is the face. Her body goes down, and wings is formed, and a snake ends up coming down to here. This snake represents the umbilical cord that extends from the mother to the child at birth. That same umbilical cord that comes off after a few days, and we take that cord and bury it in the backyard. That is the meaning of this, that's as far as I'm going to tell you. And this, my daughter, has to learn it. Here and here you see a man. She has to learn about this man, why this man is coming out of himself and becoming smaller. But I carved this about 13 years ago for that purpose. It's a book for young women in a household. Someone say, what has this got to do with politics and fighting the country, revolution, and this and that? All your art is fine. It's so nice. It's so sweet. It's so soft. And all of that. Well, this is not sweet, and this is not soft. This is called Barokosa. And you know how this was used? This was used for quite a bit of revolution. You know what it means? This is a stool. This is a stool. A very powerful stool. But this bird is bending backwards and taking a feather from his own tail. It means there is no harm to go and get something that was lost that belongs to you. In short, return to take it. You understand me? In short, because you feel sometimes like that, right underneath it, return to take it. And what does this represent? The culture. Because it is not money that the white man takes from us and we fall. It is not our guns that he takes from us and fall. It is our culture that he takes from us. And this symbol, and no matter how long the white man set it up, and no matter how long, there's a way that we Africans can speak in the language, even though the white man may have been born and raised there, we can still speak in that language when he don't understand it. So this tool was used for revolution. Return to kick it. Okay, quite quickly. This is the cloth. This is from the royal house in Senegal. I guess you gotta go forward. This is from the royal house in Senegal. Now, a lot of people look at it and say, is that kente? When they see that gold and red and blue and everything, no, it's not kente. But it only shows you that all Africans share common bonds, even though they may be countries apart. This is hand-woven material, and this is from one of the royal houses in Senegal. And this is also a form of writing, using, what do you call that, Dr. Ben? The coat of arms, the shield, the emblem. The coat of arms? Yes, coat of arms. This is the coat of arms of one of the royal houses. The coat of arms, the emblem, the shield that represents the people. So this is where the writing comes. This, of course, is a daybreak from Ghana. Alright. Now this may look very cute. But it isn't so good for you to go to a funeral with one of these on. Because the colors have their own basic significance. And you cannot go to a funeral and put it on white or something like that. People become very upset because white is for the happy time. It's for the spiritual time and so forth. So you have to wear darker colors. But all of this is writing also. We don't have enough time to go into it for each symbol. And it's all handmade and it's all hand done and painted and stamped. Individual pieces. And these hang in museums around the world. And the white man is still trying to figure out the inner meanings of each and every last one of the symbols. This is where the writing went. This is the last symbol that we're going to hold up in this series. I know this previously at the time when we had born a child in our household, in the house. We had delivered this child, and it was such a big problem to deliver this child. The mother was in 23 hours labor. But there was medicine given to the mother before the child was able to be born. Because the mother would lose the baby every time she would get it. Because her spiritual husband was jealous. And I'll get to that later on. This is the symbol of reincarnation. You see, we go running after all these Asiatic societies, becoming Buddhist, Shintoism, talking about I'm into such and such a ling lao, ting dao, duck, dig, duck, and all of that. Turn around so they can see this. And people talking about reincarnation from an Asiatic perspective. This is reincarnation from the first world perspective. The one that gave reincarnation to all the rest of them. See the center, where everything is coming from the center and brought out to all the various hemispheres. The snake that takes the tail into its own mouth. And I have it a fork within the center of the pyramid. So this is the symbol of reincarnation, our own symbol. And it's done with the sacred cowries and beads. Part of the series by saying that is where the writing went. Is that understood? It is important for us to understand certain things, and at this time I'm going to ask someone from our workshop to come forward, Sister Daisy. She's from Mexico. Her father brought her here at the age of 6. She grew up in the church. Her father was the man responsible for taking jazz to Mexico. He's an African from North America. And he took jazz to Mexico. Not New Mexico, but Mexico, real Mexico. And going to come forth and do a monologue, which we put together a week ago. I said it was appropriate for a woman to do this, and not a man. will say the next monologue, put the music back to play it for me. Fix the music for him. Men and women under the imperialist scheme meant for all African people. My dearest love, you have called to me and asked. You have called to me and asked, where have I gone? I too have gone to the ghettos of North America and to the ghettos of Jamaica. I'm in the ghettos of Brazil and in the ghettos of Haiti. And I too cry out to you in the midst of my night and in the twilight of my morning. Yes, I still love you. And I too will love you from reincarnation to reincarnation. Please, oh African women, do not leave me here to make love to strangers who know not how to touch me. Please do not abandon me in the misery of my night, for I too am crawling up with the misery of this world. Oh, virgin and sweet spirit of my life, O great queen of my history. I am reaching for you, but I am bound down by the ignorance of this history that has fallen before us in the last 400 years. It is only you that I shall ever love and shall ever be with. How I remember your queenly movement. How many houses have I built, and the houses are lonely because your presence is not within. Yes, I love you. I love the very presence that you bring within my domain. I do not just love you, I treasure you. You are my diamonds, you are my gold, you are my rubies, but most of all, you are my woman. I have no place for you, no time. You are just a man. I remember you, although I find myself as an addict in all the cities of America. Somehow within you, you are still my mother and yet my wife. You are my eternal wife from century to century. I reach forward to feel your breath once again and the caress of your fine words. I come to you and let us return to Africa. Yes, I still love you. I love your almond-shaped eyes. I love your body when it's draped in the fine cloth in which you used to use. All things I see beautiful, I find you in it. The waves in the ocean remind me of the movements of your body. And the sweetness of cinnamon smells like your breath. Oh, my lips are lonely, for I have not tasted a true woman. Oh, yes, I love you. Come and be my sunshine once again. Not just in the evening time of my life, but for the whole of the day. Return back with me to Africa, and let the drums resound from one end to the other, that yes, Nefertari has returned, and Ramesses is walking with her again. Return back with me. You are my eternal mother, O blessed virgin of this world that no man hath unveiled. May this God of ours bring us together once again. I love you in so many ways. That is my answer. Brothers and sisters, our culture, I said, was based on we are not just bodies alone. And I said that something terrible happened when people started fooling around with soul, the meaning of soul. And that I didn't like it because it confused us. It confused us terribly. When a child is born, 7 to 8 days after the child is born, a proper name is given. This name humanizes the child. The man is supposed to grow with himself and perhaps perhaps his sister or an elder of his family, to give the name. It is just unheard of for the person not to show up to give this name. A child must be named. And the child is given an automatic name, is the day name. Now the day name just does not mean like myself, Kwame, born on Saturday. That's not just that alone. But it also means one who is able to catch snakes with his own hands. One who is quick. So many people who know me, Baba Ishangi, there's a famous thing I say, let's ride. Which means that if we're going to do something, when I say let's ride, if you're not ready, you're going to get left. Because I believe in being on time. I don't believe in CP time. No, I don't believe in that. I believe that when we get here, maybe we planned it for 5 and all of this, that there's certain things that will happen in a certain time. I didn't plan this program this evening. I'm letting it go as I feel it. That's what I call CP time. You see. That's what I call CP time. Not this business of walking in here at 7 o'clock when I was supposed to be here at 4. Oh no. Oh no. But the child is given a name so that it will humanize the child. So the day name is very important. It will tell you something of the child. Then there is a name that is given that is either a historical name, and in the case of the child that I was talking about, my daughter, the child is either given the name of the medicine giver, which is the woman that gave the medicine to my wife, or either the name of the deity, the spirit that the medicine came from. You understand? So the name is very, very important. So what does this mean? It means that even our names are spiritual, because the day name has a spirit over it. The day name is also in conjunction with the name of a spirit. So if a child is sick, is very sick, you then can call upon that spirit of the day, on the day that the child was born, not the date, on Saturday. So on Saturday you make special prayers to that particular spirit to help out in the sickness. You understand? So that name is very, very important. It is very, very important. So it humanizes the child, because it is said and it is thought that the child is not really here yet, those first few days. It is still a part of the afterworld, the world of the ancestors. So you have to be very, very careful. Once that ceremony is sealed, then the child has a welcoming ceremony and is presented in what is called an outdooring to society. That is the first ritual pertaining to a child, male or female, and the child being introduced into society. What do we mean by spirituality? That is another thing. I mentioned Rastafari, and I'm not talking about the real Rastafarian that live in Jamaica, that believe in farming, that believe in good living, hard work, having land, believe in Ethiopia's original homeland, do not believe in smoking marijuana, do not believe in Yellow Man and Suling. You know who Yellow Man is? Yellow Man is a stupid Jamaican, a Dundas, that Jamaicans call a mulatto, a Dundas, and there's been a yellow problem in our race for the longest, and we got rid of it in the 60s, and now here this boy is coming up here talking about Yellow Man.
That's right, all right.
We said anybody carrying this blood was black and African.
All right, that's right.
Now here he comes talking about Yellow Man.
That's right.
We thought the Yellow Man was the Chinese. Here he comes. Jinky, 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 jinky. Yellow Man, Suling, I love it in the morning. Black skin in between Shady Brook color thing. You know that. Nobody will be hearing something about Yellow Man and Brown Man. We got rid of that. That was the colored people syndrome.
That's right.
That's all a few years back, vanilla suburbs and chocolate cities. You understand? So we have to be very careful about that. Very, very careful. And I'm saying I'm not talking about the real Rastafarians. I'm talking about people who are capitalizing off of reggae music and singing anything they want to sing to dehumanize people have stood up in meetings with me and took off their hats and shake their head and talking about my spiritual mind, this and that, and call me a baldhead. I know baldhead, and I know Bati man. Because I'm about to do something. And with all that long hair wearing stuff, let me tell you something. You go to Africa and have your hair wearing it like that. As long as you stay here in America, only in America can you do such wonderful things and get away with it. Right. Come on down to the homeland like that. And tell somebody you're spiritual. And someone say, mine for yours. Like the Masons used to say. And they start pulling out their cards. And start talking in language until you get up to a point where you can't answer the password. Talking about spirituality. In Africa, spirituality means you can do something. Not walk around and look some kind of way, because as far as looks is concerned, we corner the market. And in Africa, you can wear your hair like that from the time you're born until the day you die. If you don't get some medicine in the top of your head, and that medicine is not marijuana. Right. Wake them up. That's right. That medicine is not marijuana. You must produce. I said there are people at home that can fly. They can fly. I mean that. There are people at home that can disappear. That's right. Jimmy, am I lying? Of course, what am I lying? And I'm not talking no spooky foolishness either. I'm talking about real live disappearance. How do you think our hunters and warriors, without rifles, before the coming of rifles, how did they make out when they were hunting? Many of them were going after deer, all right? What happens when you're in that bush, they've hunted for 2 days now, track this deer down. You're after this deer, have thrown your spear, and here something on the side of you, and there's a full-grown 450-pound male lion that's after the same deer. And you have thrown your only spear. They talk about him with respect. So you brothers walk around here talking about the chi and the this and the that and so forth and so on. In Africa, you come up there talking about bowing and sticking your hand up there, and you go to punch somebody and they disappear and kick you in your butt. Other fighters at home, they put you into a trick. They got you training 90 years and everything. Some little boy will jump up in front of you and disappear. You be looking around, things like that, to kick you right in your butt. No. So what is spirituality? Man was given dominion over all things on the earth. Is that not so? And whatever else. What else? Things that fly. Things that swim in the sea. This is just an object. It's a piece of ivory from the Ivory Coast. Man is supposed to have the power to speak to this and command it to do what it wants it to do. How many people here took all these metaphysical science studies and things like that? And all the meditations and all that? Can you come up here and make this move? Can anybody make it move? Talk to it and make it move? Can anybody do it? This is not a challenge, I'm just asking. I'm Kwame, I'm talking to you. We are in this place. You are here. I'm asking you, given power by my ancestors, for you to speak. If you say yes, please turn in a circle. Will you speak for me? I thank you. When you say no, I want you to go straight. Are you in Africa? I thank you. Are you in America? Are Africans in this room? Oh, only a few? Oh, I'm sorry. When we say Africans in this room, we are in America. And in America, we say everybody of African origin is still an African, whether he knows his culture or not. So I'm asking you the question again. If you can see well, spirits that are divine, are there Africans in this room? I thank you. I thank you. What is this place? Is it a mosque? Is it a church? I thank you. Hey, these people don't believe you have power. They don't believe you have power. I don't believe you have power either. Can you touch me from where you are? Can you touch me? Thank you. Now someone say, oh yes, but see you put some charm on that thing, and you did this, and you did that, and so forth and so on. Untie this thing for me. And you did this to it, and did that to it. And you couldn't do that to something else that didn't belong to you. You put someone in, I know. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. And everything. Give me that tape recorder. If man has created you, I am man. Man has created you, answer me. I am man, then I should have power over you. Is this a church? Is there a hospital in this church? I thank you. And I am bald-headed. It means I don't have dreads. And I comb my head every day. It's not what kind of hair we have. It is what's inside. That is a simple thing. Simple. Do you know my daughter, a queer, who is 7 years old, stands up and do that in the house? Stand up and do that in the house. It is important for you to understand that spirituality is no small thing. It's no small thing at all. I asked one of my shrines, could I bring them here today? They gave me permission to come because I will probably never do this again. They said they will come for the sole purpose of you getting an understanding. What is the relationship? Why do we have rituals? Why is it that is a spiritual event when the child comes? Because we are connected to the forces itself. How can we prove whether or not there is an afterworld? How can we prove it? At this time, brothers and sisters, please do not take pictures of this. I beg you, do not take pictures of this. Normally when it happens, it does not come out anyhow. So please do not take pictures of this. And this is a telephone. That's all it is. It's a telephone. I poured my libation earlier for it to be here. It's a simple mat. That's all it is. It's a simple mat. And I'll hold it from the side. So you can see the back. I'll hold it from the back so you can see my hand. And that's how my hand will be. Just like that. Now I'll turn it to the front. They welcome you and they greet you. You know what they're saying now? There's too much confusion in the room. Many people's minds are going back and forth just like this. Too much confusion in the room. They say, my brother here with the green jacket on, with the tie and the hat. They say, the dancing, the spirit that dances with you is Bambara. Bambara. You understand? You understand? Yes, the spirit that dances with you is Bambara. That is the spirit that dances with you. When you're dancing sometime and things are not right, and how the spirit will not allow you, no matter how skillful you are. You cannot, especially if someone has been fussing before you start dancing. They say because it is a Bambara spirit. And that, when things are right and everything is peaceful, and this spirit is a very peaceful one, condition of that. They say, you've been wondering what it is. They're telling you it's Bambara. And when you go, the Bambara people will claim you. Sister, you're sitting here. I don't know you, right here. They say that is a bath. It's a bath, a spiritual bath. The day upon which you were born, you know the day. You have to find the day upon which you were born, and you must bath at 4:30 in the morning. This will then give you the vision you need to have, and not this thing of making decisions, trying to make decisions, start off on a decision and don't complete it. And don't complete it. But to allow you to have the vision to see it completely through. You understand? The bath only consists of seawater, nothing else. Because your spirits are ocean spirits. They say once you do that, you'll be able to reach instead of going so far and stopping. And going so far and stopping. So the reason for that, you must feed your body with the element of the spirits that walk with you. And that is seawater. Go and get the ocean water. At the first morning, like that. And on the day upon which you were born, bath with it with no soap, and you will see. You understand? You will pass straight through like that. They have said something to all of us at this time. Now, you know what's happening. I'm not interpreting this. They're talking directly to me. They're talking directly to me. And what happens is that this is yes, and this is confusion, and then this is a little bit, but means you won't reach. So they're telling me this and then confirming it through the movements. They have said, although you have come here to learn, if you do not apply your knowledge, that which you're reaching for and trying to travel for, no matter who you are, you will never reach. You must apply your knowledge. We should thank them by saying Madasi. This is not simple spiritualism. It's not simple spiritual. When a child is sick or there's an accident or something like that, we go to the shrine to find out what it is. Medicine. I need somebody's arm. Okay, I need your arm, not your sleeve. Hold that arm too. Medicine is spiritual. It is spiritual. It's put right where the vein is. This medicine is going to go into the vein, into the arm, and disappear.
And it's formed to stimulate the blood. It's going to go into the blood. Stand up. Some of the people can't see it. Okay, don't drop the medicine now. It's expensive. Can you see it? Can everybody see it? Okay, it's right here. It's right here. Can you see it? It looks like cornmeal. Okay, sit down. Oh, don't. Just sit straight down. Don't sit sideways. Medicine inside without needle. We have put medicine inside of his vein itself. He will feel it travel up his arm and go to the different parts of his body. Now, you can hold it there shortly and then you'll be able to move it around like that. I said man and woman, which is very, very important. A house has a spirit also. A house has a spirit also. And the house is very, very important. That's why when we come to a house, we greet the spirit of the house, as well as the spirit of the ancestors. We have proven that there is an afterworld by actually seeing and hearing. This little reading that was done here, we have some things that we have every now and then we perform it. It is after people do a salaka, which is a 3-part ritual. And it is done once a year for our souls, to uplift our souls. And normally after that we have a big reading. Sometimes many people come around. Here, people are running around with the tarot cards and things like that, and it's a big thing. But at home in Africa, it is a natural occurrence. This is our computer. This is our memory bank. This is our into the afterworld. This is our medicine. If a great doctor die at home, he or she is not lost. We can call up the spirit of that person and ask through the shrine what medicine was used for thus and so, and they will answer. In America, they call that parapsychology. Parapsychology. But they call ours voodoo. They call ours voodoo. They call it fetishism. They call it bad medicine and witchcraft. You understand? No, we must understand it properly. Now, we as men in African societies, we are expected to grow up to be honest, hardworking, truthful, and a functioning member of society. And we must contribute to that particular society. A woman is expected to do the same thing. Our work division, our work is broken down. So a woman has a certain amount of work to do. Take for instance for the farm. On the farm, a woman can weed, and she can plant, and she can pluck up, and so forth. A man will cut down the heavy trees. He will dig up the earth and do all manner of things that's heavier. So the work division is divided down in this particular manner. Questions have been asked to me about traditions in Africa. What tradition is called? And the land is a woman. Secondly, from all practical terms, the woman must have very little value that you will not at least put a cloth down for her to lay on. Third, you're out in the open, and such things are not done out in the open. Contrary to what you've seen on Tarzan pictures in Dr. It's just not done. It is not done. You understand? Now, the whole thing of ancestors. We feel that children are ancestors that are returning. So the sperm of a man is sacred, and the womb of a woman is sacred. They are in need of each other. And the reason why homosexuality is an alien situation pertaining to African culture is that the people who engage in homosexuality don't even have like equipment to be able to deal with each other. They are forcing, in China, they're taking 2 guns, turning the barrels towards each other, and then firing. That's what homosexuality is. Taking 2 guns, pointing them towards each other, barrel to barrel, and firing. Now, perpetuation of the family lineage is most important. In Africa, grandparents. That's why marriages are looked after. When you get married, 2 families get married, not 2 individuals. And grandparents have a lot to say in that. The mother and father has a lot to say in that. They are concerned about who you're going to marry. You just don't drag something home. Well, I love him, and I just, he just knocked me down and this and that and everything, and I'm going to run off and get married. In African society, you either run off and keep running. And you just keep running because you haven't gotten permission. You understand? You haven't gotten permission, and all of this, the families are going to investigate to see whether or not this person is the proper vehicle. You understand what I mean? A woman is a sacred vehicle. So a man will look and see if the son is getting a proper woman. Does she have disease? Is there any witchcraft in her family? You understand? Is there a curse in her family? All these things are very, very important. Is she healthy? Why? Because once that man unites with that woman and mates with her, the spirit of the father goes into the child, but the flesh belongs to the mother. So whatever that mother is, the flesh of that child shall be. And that child is a representative of not only the two, the man and the woman, but is a representative of the ancestors, because we are the sum total of what we were. And it is improper. It is a terrible thing to die and do not have children to mourn you. Can you imagine that? Look at the difference. Here you can go around, don't have any children, nobody represents you. As long as you have money, they're talking about you're somebody. As long as you have money. The question will not come to the graveside, do you have money? They will look around and say, where is the family? Where is the family? And when your children come to mourn you, when your children come to dance for you, yes, dance for you. And when your children and your children's children stand up and sing the songs of praises to you, that is when you go into the afterlife and those who are sitting on the other side say, welcome, you are well received. And brothers and sisters, when I speak about homosexuality, don't get uptight. I'm not speaking down to you. I'm speaking up to you. I'm asking you to look at your soul. It isn't your body you are molesting your soul. And we as African people always cared about our souls. So that's what I'm saying to you. I must be explicit on this term. I must be explicit. The sperm of a man goes into a woman, and even if she's not impregnated, it gives luster to her hair. Vegetarian. It feeds the female genes. It feeds the joints. And it disperses itself into the very marrow of the bone of a woman. Interferon, which comes from us. That interferon is also a part of that sperm. And it said that if you can get a hold of that sperm and get 600 women, that one ejaculation can impregnate 600 women. Listen to what I'm saying now. This is for a woman. This is what made African women so powerful. That even in slavery, even though she may have had to sleep with the slave master, she lived to snatch a moment with her man in the field or behind the barn. For that was the power and the seed. That was the seed. So if that seed can impregnate 600 women, then another man dispersing sperm into another man, where can it go? I'm bringing it to information now, and I must come to the sexual part because we Africans are very, not sexual oriented, we're very people orientated. But it is through sexuality that we reproduce ourselves and become what we are, proper sexuality. So that's why I will speak about it. a whole ideology, and your sisters have to be crazy.
Right. For you to allow a man to take marijuana or coke and say, wait a minute. I gotta get first. That's right. I gotta get nice first. And then so sacred that there are times when women get married, when a family is married to people, they will put a white piece of cloth underneath those two on the wedding night and come out with it and parade it around that there's blood on the cloth. She is a virgin. And if she is not, the man can take back his gifts and be disgraced. And the thought will fall upon the mother that this woman is not chaste into coming into marriage. It is a taboo to be a nasty girl. Understand me. And understand me. Hey, and brothers, y'all getting high to go with these women? And sisters, the reason why men make you high, you know one thing? Because they can't deal with you sober. They are scared of you. They are scared of you. A sober woman is the most frightening thing that a man can face. Is a sober woman, a woman that stays sober. Because a woman has both a lover's quality and a mother's quality. And the mother's quality is to know what's in her environment. And an unstable man with the woman around him, looking him up and down, talking about, man, you are this, and yesterday you did that, and now you're coming to tell me you're going to do this when you know you are not going to the Bronx. I can tell by the way you laid your jacket down. That frightens the man to death. But you got to continue to frighten the man to death. You understand that? There is in the world that you could come to me as a woman high. I wouldn't even look at you. You could strip yourself down and lay down on the floor and do a dance buck naked. I'll walk over you as if you hadn't done anything. I am so conceited. I want you to be cold sober, standing outside when it's 5 above, so cold that you can't even feel the blood in your veins. Come inside shivering and shaking with icebergs coming off of you. Come over to Dr. Feel Good. And I have nothing to offer but myself. No drugs. Because we were built for one another. And it's through the ecstasy of the word, and it's through the breathing, and the warmth, and the collaboration of the various parts of male and female bodies that we come together and make the language of love a reality. Yes. I'm summing it up by saying this. Many of the problems that we are having, brothers and sisters, we cannot escape the reality that we are an African people. In African culture, we cannot defame, blaspheme, or disrespect our ancestors. Now, what you saw here that I took out and was using in the room is called Obufu. That is a group of spirits. The ancestors are different from Obufu. The ancestors belong to your family. So they have wishes and desires for you that continue after they are in the afterlife. Now, we have ancestors of the race, such as Marcus Garvey, Malcolm, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Sojourner Truth, and we go on and on and on. These elders, such as Dr. Clarke, Dr. Ben, the elders Queen Mother Moore, they sit here and they'll work with us And they're calling us and shouting on us and everything. Once they leave this life and go into the hereafter, the ancestors will talk to them about a report. When Dr. Ben had to stand up and say, when I wrote all my books, I shouted, I didn't take a white man's job, I didn't sell out, I did all I could. When they wouldn't print my books, I typed them up and mimeographed them. We got it out any kind of way we could. I go to speak, they may promise me $100, I get that they only have the 100. So I may have to beg my way back to New York. But I did it. They say, well, what are the people doing? Well, they're still confused. Ancestors say confused about what? They're not white. How long are we going to send messengers to them to tell them where they came from? Marcus Garvey wasn't here yesterday. He was here before some of us were born. You understand me? The ancestors would say, did we not send Alex Henry to the Gambia? Did we not reveal to the world the whole of roots? What are they waiting for? We are calling them. Much of our problems today, our ancestors are punishing us because we are not doing their will. And what is their will? Their will is for us to come together, brothers and sisters. As much as I talked about the Arab, I'm not talking about my brothers and sisters who are Muslims. Because you know one thing, as far as I'm concerned, Christianity and Islam was dignified by Africans. All right, right. There will be no Christianity in the world, especially in North America. Who held up the tenets of Christianity? Not the white man. It's the African. Who is long-suffering? Who turns his cheek when someone is fighting him? Who believes in Almighty God no matter what and the afterlife? Who holds up the holy days? It is our people. We are the spiritualists of the world. Who does unto his brother that which he does wishes for himself? But we're losing the foundation of African culture that we had because we became integrated. So we're in serious trouble now. That's right. The African culture was here and we didn't know it. That's right. And now it's lost. That's right. One thing in African society is respect. There's no way in the world in African society a teenage boy is going to take off an old woman in African society. There's no way in the world. No way in the world. If an old woman is going to be strangled to death and die in a house by herself, every priest in the land will go on a rampage. Every priest in the land will call upon their gods to find the person. You understand me? The ancestors will make the ocean turn back and dry it up. Why? Not because of the death. It was the disrespect. How dare you, a child, to reach up? A child cannot eat with elders because until you learn how to wash your hands, you don't have the experience. And no matter how tall you may be, you'll never be as tall as your father. And no matter how many suits you have, you'll never have as many rags as your father. Respect is in order. Do you understand that? And we have lost that respect. You see it? A woman cannot call a man a fool in Africa. No matter what you do, even your own son, you don't call your son a fool. You don't do it. It is shameful for a man to strike a woman. It is shameful. It is shameful. You understand? It is shameful for you, the thing we say here all the time, you're crazy. You don't say that in Africa. You don't say you are crazy. Jokingly or otherwise. These are customs and traditions. Our ancestors also wanted us to love one another. We will have our problems, but to honor and treasure what our ancestors wanted us to resurrect ourselves in this land and get some respect for ourselves. That's why they sent the Honorable Marcus Garvey to lay down the mandate for us. They want us to honor and love Africa, not the twisted way that Ethiopia is being loved at this moment through reggae songs. While we're singing reggae songs, and smoking marijuana and having tons and tons of white girls run their fingers through our little dreadlocks. Our ancestors didn't mean for that. And finally, Almighty God is our great and divine supreme power force, and over God and over Lord over the whole universe. We are created out of the actual lineage of Almighty God. Hear what I'm saying. We're from the lineage of Almighty God. Our mother is the great goddess Oshun, the great goddess Shemaya, and the grandparent, the grandmother is Isis. You hear me? And the great goddesses before that time. We are the children. We are the children of Almighty God. We be not the children of Satan. It is our direct duty. It is our direct duty to clean up and be men and women of the highest caliber, wherever we are as an African people. I conclude with that. One God, one aim, and one destiny.
Brother Ishangi has taken us back to a lot of fundamentals that we have to go over and over and over again. I'm sure many of you here would have wanted opportunity to raise some questions with him. The fundamentals were wrong. Needful but long. And I think because of the events of the rest of the evening, time has denied us the opportunity to raise questions. So we'll have to bypass it today. We're already over our time, and we must hold to this time limit because of the use of this space. There are one or two announcements more